Hello and welcome back to the Nihil channel and to a very special video I never thought I would get to make. Another YouTuber that goes by the name Club Wisdom 8 has been unrelenting in his dedication to find out things about Shining Force Heroes of Light and Darkness, which is the mobile gacha game that we seem to not be getting now. And I don't know where yet, I will be asking him about this, you can count on it. But he found another trailer for the game that we haven't seen. And he seems to think that this is put together to go into the press package to help sell the game to another developer. So I don't know how accurate that is, but I don't have a reason to doubt him so far either with everything that he's found out so far. So that's my source on that, and there will be a link in the description to his channel where you can check out all the stuff he's done for the mobile game, and also I believe he covers several other mobile gacha games. So joining me today for the reaction is Daniel.
Hello, what's going on?
This is also Daniel's face reveal on the channel, so that's kind of fun.
I was wondering about that. So, if you like what you see, check out my OnlyFans.
Oh, spicy.
No, that's totally fake. But
your Shining Force themed OnlyFans would be great.
Yeah.
All right, so without further ado, are we ready? Neither of us have seen this yet.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Alright, so we got the circus. Some more NPCs. Oh, we're flashing back to Shining Force 1.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That little girl looks like one of the characters from Shining in the Darkness. We'll be going over... Club Wisdom 8 has also translated some of this, so we'll be looking at that. That's an alternate costume for Max and May. Oh, and we've got Chris! I don't recognize the centaur.
Is he from Shining Force 2?
I'm not sure. Oh, we've got battle animations for May and Bulbaroy. Oh, and Xylo? This is awesome!
It's interesting to see how far along some of the battle animations and things look.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, they do.
Some of these we've seen before.
Yep.
In trailer 1. We didn't see Chris's.
She apparently gets a power upgrade.
Oh, there's Dark Soul. That's pretty cool. And that's it.
Interesting final character to show.
Yeah, it is. So I think now we kind of go through and do some of our analysis here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't recognize either of these two characters. I don't know if you do.
No, they don't seem too obvious.
Yeah. We'll keep it going here. Oh, I'm curious too. What was their team? Okay. That's a pretty standard team for this point.
Yep.
I'm just like, is this the canon team to approach the circus battle? Okay. So yeah, we'll look at his translations for this here in a minute. So it's really interesting to me that we have different colors for Max and May there. Like, I wonder if that's them just doing alternate colors, like costumes, or if this is like a different variant that you could summon. Like,
looks like it might just be colors.
A magic version of Max or something. I have no idea. Okay, let's keep it running forward a little bit more here. This is where we get into like the meat of it. Okay, so we've got Zinc over there, and I think Kane.
Yep.
And then if we look at the oh, we can also just look right here. I was looking down here. I forget I can use my mouse. Oh, it's cut off a little bit. by Daniel, but there's here I can move you above me. We'll do that. There we go. So you can see that we've got Chris down there. I can let it run forward a little bit. There we go. So we've got a portrait of Chris in the bottom left, and I was looking at Bulbaroy down here on the turn counter, the turn meter, but I guess he's also up here.
How are you feeling about this background that's like industrial?
To me, it kind of makes me think of what somebody might interpret some of the Ancients stuff as. So that's my guess. I feel a lot more weird about Kain fighting Dark Soul. Like, it really, to me, seems like you were going to be able to recruit anybody you wanted. But then I have my question of, can you recruit enemies? Because I know I would definitely want, like, a Dark Dwarf or, you know, some of the goblins. Let's keep it running, I guess. So here we've got Kazin, Xylo, Bulbaroy, and I guess this is, they're going to be skills. We knew they were going to be skills, but I guess this is kind of what they look like. I don't see... Okay, what do you think about the enemies on this one? We've got the... Is this the same ones that Michaela summons at the beginning?
Yep.
Or it's not Michaela. Okay, yeah, we have these from Shining Force 2. I forget what they're called. These giant ballista things.
The artillery shells.
Yeah, but then we have... What do you think the other things are?
Those look like the Dark Dwarves.
Yeah, these are the Dark Dwarves, but who over here on the side panel that shows turn order, who is that?
That looks like the woman from the top center, where the marionette normally is.
You're right, that just was shown. And then the top, that looks like one of the Belials to me.
It looks like one of the greater demons, I think. Like, if you go through the footage on the right side, you can kind of see them.
On the right side?
The right side of the tent, the circus tent.
Back here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That looks like
right
the Belial guys from Shining Force 1, I think. Oh wait, no, those use. I'm forgetting because I played a mod that changed them to this. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, from the end of Shining Force 2, that final battle. There's a couple of those tossed in.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of Legacy of the Ancients, the Let's Play of the mod we did together.
Yep.
Okay, so let's keep it going. I think that's what those are. So we're definitely mixing Shining Force 1 and 2 enemies, which I really like. Then we have her, and she is from one of the games I've not played yet. Is she from CD or from 3?
I believe it's CD.
Okay.
It would help to see her name.
I mean, it's probably there.
I'm sure it is.
In
it's
Korean.
right next to that 30.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's definitely related to that, like, Camila line, I think. Then, yeah, we have the Dark Dwarf, the Blue Dragon. Who else do we have here? Like May, Sarah, Bowie, Chris. Okay. Yeah. I think this wizard is the Chaos Wizard, which is funny because that's the gamer tag of a guy that hangs out on my channel quite a bit. But yeah, I think that's the Chaos Wizard from Shining Force 2.
Slade was there too.
Yeah, I saw that, but he is shown here in a minute too. God, these look so good. These animations are so nice. Like, yeah,
this makes it feel much further along than we were kind of led to believe with the other trailers.
I would agree. This makes it feel a lot more done.
So maybe this is like Ryan Reynolds releasing Deadpool footage.
To get somebody to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I wonder how much they want. I don't think it would be feasible for me by myself, but as a community, you know, it might be the... I don't know, maybe we could fundraise to help this get made. Yeah, we've seen some of these before, but Chris was new.
Yeah.
The Chris fans are going to be so happy. And then it's really cool to me that the enemies get one as well. That's really interesting.
Well, since they're likely playable,
Yeah, that's right.
it
That's
makes
right.
sense.
You are totally right.
'Cause a lot
So,
of the gacha stuff has that, like, oh, you can play as anyone you want kind of thing. You
mhm.
just have to unlock them and pay.
Yeah, yeah. Just part for the course for gotcha stuff. Sorry if I'm looking crazy too. I have no idea where to look because I'm using a different camera. I'm just all over the place. So now I am going to pause the recording and we're going to check out the translation stuff real quick, and we'll be back in a minute with thoughts on that. Alright, we're back. I still am not knowing where to look. The deal is that I am not in my home studio because it's Christmas time and I am hanging with family, so that's kind of what the deal is. So, Club Wisdom 8 has translations for these things. I don't know if he speaks Korean himself or if he got it done. But basically, Michaela asks Max something along... This is all kind of vague, paraphrasing. But she says, you know, have you forgotten me, Max? There's soldiers roaming all over the place. Guardian has been defeated, so what are you doing here? You're gonna suffer a cruel death at the hands of these cute little dolls. She tells them to kill them, and goodbye, I'll see you somewhere in the afterlife. So then we cut to here, and Max talks to this woman and says something like, are you the astrologer of Alterone? And I don't really, know exactly what that means. I'm wondering if this means this, story takes place in kind of the spirit world of Shining Force. I'm not really sure. Because we know that at least Force members can be brought back from the dead, but until Shining Wisdom, at least, we don't totally know what that looks like. So, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily, to me, mean that she's affiliated with Alterone either. It just means that that's how Max understands what's happening. You know, you try to rationalize using things that you understand. Do you have anything to add to that, Daniel?
Not necessarily. I think that he seemed pretty positive that there's like a time travel-y element to it, so that could be a factor too.
Yeah, he seems positive about that, but I'm not entirely sure why. Because nothing that he presents to us leads me to think that. But yeah, that is good to bring up, that the other YouTuber that we're pulling this from, Club Wisdom 8, seems to think there's a time travel mechanic of some sort. Then we cut to the villagers. That's the next time dialogue happens. And they're saying things like, there's a scary guy, he says, they say, with dark skin and big horns, which obviously is talking about Dark Soul. Another one yells, die, Dark Soul, die, which I think is funny. And I also thought it was funny that when May walks by this guy, let me grab that part. Yeah, he tells her she's pretty or something, which I think is funny. I know a lot of you guys are thirsty for May. No shame. Let's see. The next scene that we go to, she, for some reason, says, poetry, I hate it. And I'm not really sure what that's about. And Club Wisdom also did not seem to have any idea what that was about. Astral asks, where can we run to? And that does seem like a throwback to the first trailer that's like, yeah, we kind of feel like they're being chased. The girl then starts laughing and goes through this portal. Max, or I think, oh, sorry, Bowie says, Astral, what's going on? Yeah, just kind of a confusing scene for us, with what context we have. Then they talk about pushing a button and they blow this rock up. And we saw in the first trailer that a train zooms through here, so I guess they're trying to clear the tracks. I'm not entirely sure. Then the last thing to talk about, I think, and I'm just going to have the trailer looping in the background. I'll put some nice shining music over it. Club Wisdom 8 knows a lot more about this whole Korean gacha situation than I do, and then he knows a lot more than I realized he knew. So this is all coming from him, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I will link his video in the description below so you can go check it out, give him some views, show him some love for doing this for the Shining Force community. He does believe that the game will be sold off. Oh, did it? Oh, okay, it stopped sharing my screen with you, my bad. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I had to fix that. So, Club Wisdom 8 does believe that the game will be sold off. He believes this for a variety of reasons, but it sort of boils down to that the CEO of Hive owns most of the stock in his own company. And that means that he's tied up a very large amount of savings in this company. And he points out that they were really on top of the world with King's Raid back in like 2017, 2018. And that looked like a really, really great investment. And he probably is not going to want to lose all that money. So that's kind of what happens if they declare bankruptcy and just accept that the company's gone. It's kind of accepting that you're never going to get a return on that investment. But things happen in the business world in terms of fiscal years. And I'm definitely a little bit out of my element here talking about all these things. But basically, I covered in an earlier video that they laid off around 90% of their staff. And also that right before that, in just the past year, they'd given them all really, really large raises that definitely surprised me in how generous it was, and I kind of was side-eyeing that, like, can they afford to do that? And the answer very much seems to be no. No, they could not afford to do that. But now that they're running a skeleton crew, they don't have these massive obligations to pay all these people, but they do have a lot of assets that are worth something. I'm not entirely sure what they're worth, and I'm not even going to speculate, because I just don't know. But the fiscal year ends February, so Club Wisdom thinks that the game, basically, when we hit February, or end of February, they'll say, okay, now new fiscal year, we need to get in the green. So if we're going to sell something, we're going to do it here. So he thinks that it's either going to be sold before March, or around March of 2023, or sometime in June/July. He also points out that he's checked into it and they have not sold any of their assets yet, which also he found odd because he knows a lot more about these things than I ever ever could. But basically, I guess Hive put out another game called what was it? Time Defenders, that did quite badly. And I obviously have not played that game, but it sounded like Club Wisdom maybe had, and he was not impressed. And that game just didn't make any money. So it's like, yeah, they might sell that off. They also may sell off Shining Force around the same time. He also points out that other companies may just want Vespa to have issues, and Hive to have issues, because then they can, instead of buying Shining Force, they can buy the entire company. So if no one helps them and they just keep floundering and things keep going down, the price to buy their company just keeps going down. And it seems like people may be interested, I say people, companies may be interested in purchasing Hive as a whole. So the last thing I think to talk about is that, no, we'll put this as part of the previous point. So Club Wisdom 8, again, this is my source for all this. He claims that the CEO, in his opinion, doesn't really care about Shining Force as well. That in some of their budgetary meetings and things, and meetings about what I'm assuming about their financial woes, he didn't even bring up Shining Force until people started asking about it. And it sort of seems like he doesn't really care about anything except King's Raid 2. That's kind of his baby. That's what he wants Hive to be doing. But when he became CEO, I guess they were already doing some of these other projects. So the last thing to talk about, I think, is that Club Wisdom 8 seems to think that 100% this game will come out. He says he believes it will be later rather than sooner. And he thinks that later, at the latest, kind of means 2025 sometime. And at the earliest, if the selling of assets, if the game gets sold to somebody else in February of 2023, he thinks that we could see maybe a beta mid-year 2023 with the full release coming probably late 2024. He kind of waffles back and forth a little bit, I think, kind of just reasoning this out, kind of like I'm trying to do. But his final prediction is that this will come out late 2024. That's the one he feels the strongest about. I kind of tend to agree, because there's just not a whole, like, there aren't many games or stories about games that make it this far that we publicly see that we just never do anything with, that we never get anything else from. I can name a couple. I used to be really into Star Wars, and I know we saw, it kind of reminds me of games like Star Wars 1313 or the Darth Maul game that was untitled. 1313 really sticks with me because it was such a bizarre thing to not, to get so far that you've got kind of you've got gameplay, you've got trailers that are all publicly seen, and then just nothing. It's true that this trailer doesn't show any, like, new mechanics, I don't think. But I do think that Daniel and I were talking kind of when I hit the pause button on the recording, that we both feel like this shows the game is a little bit further along than we thought. What I was seeing from the first trailer to me looked a little bit more like a proof of concept. And this to me kind of has me going, okay, so, like, this is not a proof of concept. This is a game that you have that works. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, it definitely feels further along than what we had seen previously. In a lot of the other trailers, from memory, I probably should have watched them before we started this, but focused more on setting up whatever the story was going to be. And this show feels like it's highlighting the gameplay more than the other ones did.
I would agree. Though I said it didn't expand in terms of mechanics, I am still really curious as to what this Max May alternate color thing is. So I'm gonna leave that to you guys. Maybe that's promoted Max or something. I don't know. What this is going to be what I want you in the comments from you guys. What do you think this is? What do you think that's about? Because I'm really not sure. Oh, were you going to say something about it, Daniel?
Just, it looks like it might just be, like, desaturated a little. Like, the outfit looks pretty similar still.
But we see him in the other one, like, one screen over. Because I thought that. But then I'm like, I don't think so, because it looks like he's just wearing silver. Which is what his, what he looks like in Shining Force 1 when he's promoted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what May looks like, because I'm terrible. But I'll compare that and probably put a little note that's like, does this look like her promoted thing?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely wondering about that.
Yeah. Very curious.
I've also just realized that the time travel thing there might be something to that, because we are getting characters from Shining Force 1 and 2 together, and we do know that Shining Force 2 happens a pretty significant amount of time after Shining Force 1. So to have even Max and Chris standing next to May here, there probably has to be some sort of time travel universe breaking shenanigans.
Yep.
But that's also pretty par for the course for a gacha game.
Mm-hmm.
at minimum, I'm just hoping that we get lots of characters and it, you know, gets to, I get to just make a lot of content off it, because I think that would be really fun. It's why I came back to this channel in the first place, was because I was hoping that we would have just a constant stream of Shining Force hype, and I'm hoping that, even if it's way further off than I was hoping initially, that, we do eventually reach that, because I'm ready for the Shining Renaissance. I'm ready for just this to make a comeback, because it's really special, I believe, obviously, with all the effort I put into it. And I'm excited for more people to get into that. And Club Wisdom speculates a little bit about that too, like, why did people in Korea suddenly get into Shining Force? And I'm like, I kind of don't know the answer to that. I would love to know why they thought that this was the time. It's time for a Shining Force remake. My best guess to answer that question, he didn't even really speculate as to how that happened, but I'm going to. My best guess is that Fire Emblem happened and, you know, blew up. The Game Awards a couple of years back, Fire Emblem Three Houses won the popular vote for Best Game of the Year, which is insane. I mean, it went up against everything, and it won. So people are hot on SRPGs right now. I think that, you know, game genres come and go, and maybe I'll do a whole video about this. You know, for a while, everybody had to make the Minecraft clone, then everybody had to make the Overwatch clone, then everybody had to make the Fortnite clone. We kind of have an ebb and flow of game genres, and I think that we're just getting to at least another wave of the SRPG. With Fire Emblem doing so well, Langrisser launching a mobile game and using that to fund a comeback. And, you know, some of these other big, more indie titles like Dark Deity, Symphony of War, and Lost Eidolons. I mean, we didn't have that kind of, you know, those kinds of things just a couple of years ago. Triangle Strategy. You know, I can just keep going. Tactics Ogre Reborn, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. Like, I would not have imagined that just 3 or 4 years ago, but here we are. So, I think that is about gonna do it. I will be uploading this trailer shortly after this video goes up, just by itself, raw, without all our commentary, so you can watch it there. And if you want to make commentary off of it, absolutely go for it. I am super hyped for this game. This has kind of reignited my fire. I was feeling hopeless for a little while, but part of it is definitely wishful thinking. That's definitely part of what my optimism is. To be totally transparent, I really want this to come out more than just about any other game. But, yeah, that's where I am on the matter, and I'm gonna say that I also believe, seeing how finished some of this looks, that, yeah, I definitely think it's gonna come out. My worry, as I stated earlier with the first trailer, was that we saw everything they had. And I mean everything. I was worried that was it. Like, they showed off literally every asset they made. And this leads me to believe that's not true. They definitely have gotten a lot done. This is going to be a game. That's my thought. Daniel, do you have any last thoughts?
Nope. I agree with you. It seems that when there's money involved, whether it sucks or not, it'll probably get some level of release. Would just kind of be my thought.
Yeah, and who knows, tons of games suck when they first come out, and then kind of find their footing after the fact, and it works out kind of okay. And while I don't love that, that is also a possibility, so this could happen, and I can guarantee that whenever this does come out, I do not typically promote gachas. I have some feelings about that, but I will be supporting this game at the highest monetary level I am able at the start, because I really want this to succeed, and I want to send a big message of, hey, Shining Force, that's pretty cool. I would play that. Yeah, so that's my thoughts. That's Daniel's thoughts. You got anything else?
Nope. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, I definitely knew as soon as this was brought to my attention. I was like, I know exactly who I need on this with me. All right, then that's going to do it for us today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, tell me what you think about the outfits for Max and May. I'm very curious about that, and we will see you in the next one.